August what?
Oh, you're kidding me. September.
Kyle Lafferty.
Are you joking me?
Is that right?
I know, it's not right.
Anybody else?
Leash, was it?
Like, that is one of the most stupid questions.
Darius Vassell?
Seriously, you all need to just stay quiet. This is getting really annoying doing this quiz.
What is going on here?
Welcome along to the shoutiest segment on your radio. It is the scintillating, it is the stupefying and the splendito. It is the special football edition of the Crappy Quiz. And it is a very special football pack quiz today for you, with thanks to Paddy Power. Allow me to welcome today's teams then. Our first team is potentially Ireland's next great music duo. And by music duo, we mean a man who is genuinely known as a talented singer-songwriter, aka Stewie Byrne, and a man who is genuinely just known for getting locked, sitting on someone else's shoulders and shouting the lyrics at a stage, aka Nate Dog Murphy, who are team number one.
God help anyone who has me on their shoulders right now.
Yeah, well, now is your yearly reminder as well, Nathan, to take a check of your performance in the crowd at the Happy Mondays gig at Witness Festival back in 2000, which I think is still available on YouTube.
I was there.
Shame.
That wasn't in the crowd. That was on the stage.
How did you end up on stage? Did you just like climb up, or how did it happen?
No, I was asked to go up. I was standing in the front row, waiting for the Happy Mondays to come on, when Sean Ryder appeared. It's about 10:30 at night, my first ever festival, so you can imagine what sort of state I was in. And he came out saying, I need someone to play bass. And I played guitar, so my mates were like, oh, he'll do it. No, I didn't know any Happy Monday songs.
Did you play bass guitar or just guitar generally?
Eventually, I figured out he was saying, I need someone to play bass.
Bez, yeah.
So I was brought backstage into a porta cabin where I was handed a bottle of Jack Daniels. There were 3 topless ladies, and they said, we're going on stage in 2 minutes. All you got to do is dance.
For everything, Nathan.
It's a dream.
So I went on stage, danced away. The 3 topless ladies appeared on stage. Had a great time. Was delighted with myself. About an hour later, I finished up, and phone rings, and it's my mother saying, just watching TV3 there, and they were showing a band live with 3 topless ladies, and it looked like you were in the middle of them. So
sounds like a decent night at the festival for me.
Thank God Nathan never went topless.
There you go.
I don't think anybody can top that, Nathan. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, I was a much slimmer man back then, Kenny. I would have been fine.
I thought you were taking out the crowd because you were crushing the people in your immediate vicinity.
No, that's where it all went. That's where it all started to go downhill. That night was where it all started to go downhill.
Well, our second team then have already seen cracks appear in their relationship. Half of this team is a legend of the north side of the city of Dublin, #1 customer of Thunder's Bakery, Kenny Cunningham, who's here with me in studio. But hailing from the south of the Liffey is a man who didn't grow up in the Thunder's locality and thereby couldn't tell an eclair from a vanilla slice. Give it up for Stephen Doyle, who's going to join Kenny on Zoom. Steve-o, what's the story?
Manning's loyal, Will. Manning's loyal, that's all I'd say.
You've got a natural advantage here. You know, you and Kenny worked together last weekend on the West Brom game. So you've got this kind of...
We've got a problem. We've got a problem. We've got a problem.
I take a lot of confidence here from the fact that Stewie Byrne is still calling it the Premiership as well. So I think myself and Kenny should do okay.
Lots of English rugby questions, don't worry. Kenny, go on. You're about to out Steve-o here.
Well, I was making the argument to the producer that I was only right myself and Steve, and being born and bred north side, it was an obvious kind of pairing, but it was made known to me at a later stage that Stephen hasn't got such strong roots in the north side of the city. And he spent his early years out in there somewhere near the Wicklow Mountains. I was told. Big shock to
well,
me.
Kenny, my 2 parents both English, so I claim myself as a half and half north sider, south sider, you know.
His argument here, Kenny, is south side loads,
that's a
north
poor
side
comeback, isn't it?
Right, well, we've got dissension already on team number 2. And our final team contains 2 guys who have done nothing but win things recently in their career. First of all, we've got Vinny Perth, who's got 2 FAI Cups as a player, a First Division medal as a player, a Premier Division medal as a player, as well as an EA Sports Cup medal, a President's Cup title, and the PFAI Manager of the Year title from last year. And alongside Vinny, we've got John Duggan, who's an IMRO Radio Award from last year. We've got the Gilded Duo, as they've been called by our producer. It's John and Vinny. How are you getting on, lads?
I'm sitting on Vinny's soccer coattails here, and I'm guaranteed to be the worst person in this crappy quiz. So, Vinny, it's all on you. and I know we're going to deliver, and I know you're going to be the star number 10 here.
No, I'm going to struggle, but anyway, with that introduction, you wonder why I have nothing to do today, to be honest with you.
Well, look,
You're confusing me there. I'm confused.
Well, for nice Italian, Vinny.
Yeah. The local Roma.
well, look, that might be it's the nicest run through of your CV that we ever had. We can thank our production team for those fantastic intros. So what we're going to do, because as you can see on the screen at the moment, we've got the Brady Bunch set up, but most of the guys at the moment, due to social distancing. So what we're going to do is the questions will be directly to one member of the team, and they will answer the question this time round. So we'll still no doubt of shouting over each other, but we'll try and keep it a little bit organised this time round. So round one is the boring Republic of Ireland trivia round, and it's going to test your knowledge on the Republic of Ireland football team, and is for the expert on your team only. For clarity, the experts on this round are Stewie, Kenny and Vinny. So we'll have a question for one each.
Pressure.
First up
Sorry,
is team number one, which is Nathan and Stewie. Stewie, you've to answer this one. Which of the following Republic of Ireland managers had the best win percentage? Was it A, Brian Kerr, B, Mick McCarthy, or C, Jack Charlton?
I'll leave off, for God's sake. Even Stewie can get that. Even Stewie can get that.
I might go with Brian Kerr because he...
There you go. Brian Kerr, correct. Despite not getting Ireland to a major finals, he had a better win percentage in the time he was in charge than both Jack Charlton.
Long.
Go on, Stewie.
Good start from Stewie. Now, Kenny was trying to put him off, whispering in his ear as he was getting ready for a penalty.
I heard it, yeah. I'll get him back for that.
Stewie, feel free to shout away in the background while Kenny has to answer this one. So, Kenny,
customer, Stewie, he doesn't flap.
Your question then, Kenny. Can you name the last team the Republic of Ireland have beaten in a competitive fixture, not with the names Georgia or Gibraltar? So the last team that Ireland had beaten that weren't Georgia or Gibraltar.
Every game's competitive. So literally the last game
just
we won.
answer the question. Come on.
Last game we won. Okay. I'll confer on this if you don't mind with my teammate Stephen. Do you want to come in on this?
End is not shaking his head, so I think he can help.
I can confer. Surely that's the whole idea. Team game, isn't it?
Come on, Steve.
No, you not hear the rules.
There's a lot of no's on this, Kenny.
Steve, my phone's on. Just to let you know.
Right.
In the studio.
Unless he can WhatsApp you quickly.
But I forgot my glasses, so I was pointless ending that. Last competitive fixture.
The Ireland have won, yeah.
It'd be. It had to be Gibraltar.
No, not Gibraltar or Georgia.
Not Gibraltar or Georgia. Any others? You want to throw in a few more as well? Do I have to go back to 1978?
How long do you get, by the way?
Well, we're going to have to push you for an answer here, Ken.
Who was in our last qualifying campaign? Prior to that, absolutely no idea. Don't know.
Going to give S. Jersey from the games over there, David Moyles.
Wales.
Against Wales, yeah.
Moyles jersey staring at me there.
Right.
Come on, Vinny.
Vinny, this one's on you. What is the current world ranking of the Republic of Ireland football team? Are they in 30th position, 32nd or 34th?
Bad question.
The lads will know that because they say it all the time, don't they?
I knew it was 30-something, but...
That's desperate.
They've fallen a couple of places. They're going to guess 34.
Yep, good guess.
Oh, fair play.
Get in, Vinny, get in.
No pressure.
Educated guess. That wasn't a lucky guess. That was an educated guess.
No early pressure then on Kenny.
The fairness of this competition, considering the other two teams got
That
multiple
was a desperately
questions.
hard question. Wales in 1967. I wasn't ever going to get that.
In the studio to give him a hand, for God's sake.
Look, send your complaints to Owen Sheehan via postcard if you want to complain about the questions themselves. Next round is about the Europa League versus fictitious places round. This is going to be fun to read. So as the Europa League needs another qualifying round this week, we bring back a crappy quiz classic. We're going to give you 3 names. One of them is a Europa League club, and 2 of them are going to be names of places that don't exist at all in real life. All you have to do is give me the name of the football club to score a point. This question is for what's been called the plebs of the team. So for clarity, the plebs are Nathan, Stephen and John. I could have been members of OTB Sport, but no, the plebs for this team. So this is for Nathan and Stewie's team, who've got 1 out of 1 so far. Okay, here we go. So 2 of these names are cities in Game of Thrones. The other is playing in the Europa League on Thursday night. So which of these is a Europa League team? It's either Satar, Tolos, or Jablonek.
Say it again?
Not again.
Bad pronunciation.
Sitar, Tolos,
Qatar.
or Yablonek?
This is easy.
Do you watch
The
Game
last
of Thrones?
The last one.
Amber?
Yablonek.
There you go.
Yes,
They are
Nathan.
from the Czech Republic, and they're playing on Thursday evening. So there you go. The other two are locations from Game of Thrones. Steve Owen Kenny then. And this is Steve O's to answer. He said the last one was easy, so let's see how easy he thinks it is. Two of these names are planets in Star Wars. The other is playing in the Europa League on Thursday. So which of these is a Europa League team? All right, so we've got Kairat. I'll spell it just in case. Kairat. Kashyyyk. Kash, 3 Ys and a K. Or Karelia. So it's either Kairat, Kashyyyk, or Karelia, Steve-O.
You spell the last one there, Will?
Yeah, I can. It's Corellia.
Yeah, it's Kairat.
It is. Kairat play in the Afghan Premier League, and they'll be up against Maccabi Haifa later this week.
Lumparna.
Okie dokie. So that's the boys off and up and running. John and Vinny, this is for John Duggan then. Two of these teams are places in Lord of the Rings. The other is playing in the Europa League this week. So which is the Europa League team? So you've got Lorien, Lorian, Numenor, Numenor, or Renova, Renova. What's it going to be, John?
Best of luck.
I would say I really don't like Lord of the Rings or the Europa League, but I will say Renova.
A good guess. Renova are from North Macedonia. So 2 plays 1 plays 2 is what we've got so far. So the ground has to be caught up by both Kenny and Steve-O. This is the double jeopardy Premier League round. So given we're having a Premier League special, this should be nice and easy. In this round, everyone will have to answer a question. If both members of your team answer their questions correctly, your team will score 3 points. However, if only one of you gives a correct answer, you'll just score the single point for the question that you get correct. And no correct answer would mean 0. So there's a bonus if both team members can get it correct.
No answers means 0. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
That's controversial.
It's a hell of a dynamic here, Kenny. We were thinking of giving out freebies.
Really thinking out of the box in this quiz.
Right, Stewie, you're first up here. Can you name any of the top 5 French appearance makers in Premier League history?
Give me that again.
Top 5.
So you have to name any of the top 5 French
of them?
appearance makers in the Premier League history.
Oh, come on. It's a joke.
Any of the top 5?
Yeah.
Joke.
Thierry Henry.
And okay. Nathan, because I have to ask you the same question, I can't tell you whether Stewie was right or not, I'm told. So same question to you. Can you
Thanks for
name
the
one of the
backup, by the
top
way,
5 French appearance makers in Premier League history?
Tigana.
Top 5. So how many have I to name?
Just the one.
Platini.
5 French.
I have to press you, Nathan.
Oh, come on, Nathan. For God's sake.
This show is live, right?
Patrick Vieira.
No. Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, neither are in the top 5. That buzzer just confirms that. Sylvain Distin, Nicolas Anelka, Steve Malbronk, Guy Clichy, or William Gallas are the
Who's
top
Steve
5.
Malbronk?
Played for Fulham.
Fulham,
Yeah.
Do you know my partner was nodding negatively after I answered? Did you notice that?
So he knew.
And then he gets it wrong.
Still goes for player from the same team. All right, so no points for the lads. A chance for Steve and Kenny very much to get back into it here.
Oh, sorry, do you mind me? Scotty, at a point of order there. Nicolas Anelka played more Premiership games than Patrick Vieira.
Yeah. Well, he was backing around. Remember, he came back to Bolton,
Man
and
City,
Bedford,
Liverpool.
and
Yeah,
he 2 runs up.
Yeah, that's true. I'll take that back.
I
Sorry.
actually went for Thierry Henry because Kenny should have talked about him last night. All he was talking about Thierry Henry.
He was so good, lads. He was so good. You wouldn't believe it.
Oh, the best.
I did me best.
Kenny only ever saw the back of Thierry Henry, though.
Right,
Kenny, well, let's do this.
Steve and Kenny, after Steve will get his dig in against Kenny there. Kenny, you have to go first on this one. Name any of the top 5 appearance makers as goalkeepers in Premier League history.
Premier? Why does it have to be the Premier League?
This is a Premier League
I was
round.
thinking Shilton.
Googling there, Steve-O.
Sorry?
You Googling?
No.
Right.
And to keep an eye on him in the
Don't keep
background,
your
what
hands.
Kenny thinks.
I'd have to go with it's the obvious one, but I'm going to go with...
Go on.
Oh, see, the Seaman was around too many before the Prem, wasn't it? It's a killer, isn't it? Need someone who's just come out of Premiership, really, a goalkeeper.
Need an answer, Kenny, come on.
Oh, Jesus. Schmeichel. I know it's not him.
Right, okay. And Steve-O, give us one of the top 5 appearance maker goalkeepers there.
Petr Cech.
Okay, so we got one right and one wrong. Petr Cech was right, Peter Schmeichel was outside. So 1 point for the lads from the combined answers. We've got David James, Mark Schwarzer, Shea Given, Brad Friedel and Petr Cech were the top 5.
Shazer.
So, right, you got one back in the lads. We're all level now at the moment, but this is a chance for Vinny and John to pull out in front. Vinny, can you name any of the top 5 players who've been shown the most yellow cards in Premier League history?
Oh, yellow cards. Jeez, because he has reds, I'm going to go with my old buddy, Richard Dunn.
Okay. John, same question to you on that one then.
Gareth Barry.
We got 1 out of 2 again from the lads. Gareth Barry was inside the top 5. The other 4 players, Wayne Rooney, Lee Bowyer, Kevin Davies and Paul Scholes. The most booked players ever.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't tackle him.
Yeah. So, and I think by my maths, that was 1 and 1 scored. Does that put team number 3 just ahead?
We're still in the lead, effectively, yeah.
2-2-3. So Vinny and John are ahead by a single point as we go into round number 4. And this is a quick fire round, which is the way that we always decide things out at the end. In this round, you're all going to go against the clock is the plan that we have. And I think tradition on this one, and if you can just totally clarify for me, is the team who are ahead get to go first, I think, don't they? Yeah, so I'll keep asking questions. We'll run out of them in the end. And what we'll do is we'll go to the next team after that. So obviously team number 3 are ahead, then we'll go team number 2, then team number 1. So this is for Vinny and John. Either of you can answer the question. Let's get things going then. Okay, so here we go. We will start off. The team who are in first place at the moment are team number 3. Then we'll move on to team number 2 and then team number 1. Once you get a question wrong, I will move on to the next team and you'll be deducted 1 point if you've given a wrong answer. Each correct question here will be worth 1 point. So, hopefully the teams are ready on
What
this
if you
one.
don't give any answer?
You lose. You still get docked a point, don't you?
We don't. Not wrong. You're actually giving a wrong answer.
on,
you're not technically giving a wrong answer
here.
if you say nothing.
We've
You
got-
won't be on that, lads. If you don't actually say anything, if you don't give an
pass,
answer.
right? You can pass.
You
Yeah,
can pass, yes. And we'll get it moving because there's 40 seconds on the clock and we've got 12 questions. So there's still 12 points up for grabs here, okay? So the first question is going to be to John and Vinny. Which club did Anthony Stokes leave this week?
Livingston.
Correct. In which year did Manchester United last win the Champions League?
2008.
Yeah. Who's older, Timo Werner or Kai Havertz?
What's the question?
Who's older, Timo Werner or Kai Havertz?
Timo Werner.
Correct.
Yeah.
Who did France beat in the 2018 World Cup semi-final? Don't mind that. That's just ended not having a timer that's long enough. Who did France beat in the 2018 World Cup semi-final, John or Vinny?
Belgium.
Correct. Who currently sits bottom of the League of Ireland Premier Division?
Bottom.
Yeah.
Cork City.
Correct. World Cup winner Alex Morgan joined which Women's Super League team in England in the past week? Tottenham Hotspur, yeah. Which England wunderkind has had his number retired at Birmingham City this summer? And it is shaking. We already know the victors because team number 3 went on a run there. And no need for the tiebreaker. Our congratulations go to John Duggan and to Vinny Perth. Nathan Murphy is shaking his head. Kenny Cunningham is shaking his head.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah.
I was waiting for a round.
You didn't get a chance.
What's going on? It's shambles.
You told me that was for everybody.
Thanks, Stewie.
We're that good. There's no point wasting time.
You said beforehand that team 3 were going to go, then team 2, then team 1.
Yeah,
Which is
if team
Stewie.
3 got a question wrong, which they didn't.
There's ads we have to get through. We're going to win anyway, so we may as well move on.
All he can do is Robert De Niro impressions. That's all he can do.
Null and void. Null and void.
John
Sorry,
Duggan,
folks.
give us your gracious victory
Didn't know
speech
what
then.
he was doing.
Well, it's all
Were we
that
allowed-
and all those
Were
big
we allowed
titles.
to put in there?
Oh, have you never watched the crappy quiz before? When
Oh,
someone gets a
no.
question wrong, then it moves to the next team, and then the next team gets a chance.
Court of arbitration.
We didn't get
no.
this.
Should be our next step.
Yeah, Kenny and John managed to get 5 questions in a row correct, and they win the quiz.
And everybody else was waiting for
I
theirs.
think I'm going to retire now, actually. Vinny, I think we should retire and just maybe let other
He is
people-
retired.
Nathan, can you do a Robert De Niro impression there for?
Right, I'll wait for this. We have a few minutes. Go on.
That's a shambles. You should be embarrassed, lads. A giant asterisk beside that.
Yeah. Will and Ender are getting clipped after this. That's all I'll say.
I've absconded from work for this.
We had a problem.
Probably gonna I'm probably
we had
gonna
a
be
problem.
sacked.
There's nothing we could do about it. What do you mean we had a problem? There's nothing we could do about it.
No. Well, I've been rehearsing
The phone box.
researching Premiership information all day, and then them questions come out. Just to
All
show
right,
them.
let's play again. Come on, this is great crack.
All right, joke over, Will. Joke over. Let's do it properly now. Come on.
If only Owen Sheehan had written more questions as opposed to ducking out after putting 4 rounds of questions together, which may have left us slightly short on the quiz. But look, the official winners on this are John and Vinny.
Well done, lads.
My dream partner. I'm very proud of you, John. Your performance today was
Well done.
excellent.
Vinny, I will see you on a Saturday soon.
Yeah, and you know what they say, you can't win anything without good teammates. So thanks, John. I really
Absolutely.
means a lot.
I didn't know the Cork City answer anyway.
You can add that to my list of achievements.
Right, there's no points for these questions, but I'll run around the squares anyway, considering Stewie's taking time off work to talk to us. Stewie, you can have first bite on this one. Who's going to win the Premier League title this season?
Who's going to win the Premier League title? Liverpool.
City, probably their closest contenders?
No.
Oh,
Say United or Chelsea probably might push in. I'd say Chelsea maybe.
okay. So your top 4 then, I'm guessing obviously the winner for you is going to be Liverpool. The rest of your top 4, you don't have to give them an order, but the other 3 teams who will get Champions League?
I'm going to throw a bogey in there. I think United will get Champions League. No, I've got Liverpool, Chelsea, City, United, yeah.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, go on. Give us the bottom 3, Stewie.
Bottom 3. God.
Hasn't done his prep.
No.
He can't even
no
name
right
some
answer to
three
this,
Premiership
Stewie.
clubs.
He's doing his prep on Shamrock Rovers nice in Milan.
He doesn't know any teams outside the top 6.
I don't know anything outside the top
It's like
6.
Barnsley, Scunthorpe, and
Bournemouth.
Wickham.
Bournemouth are already gone.
Go on.
Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday, yeah. Come on. Jeez. Sheffield United.
Whoa.
Oh, he's just clutching names here. He's just happy to name.
Wolves.
He's just happy to name
Wolves.
one.
One hit wonders, Wolves. One hit wonders. And Tottenham. Get rid of that gobshite once and for all.
Oh, Lord. Vinny Perth, if you were doing all your research on this, who's going to win the Premier League this year then?
Yeah. Who's my top 3? Liverpool, City are still going to be the top 2, and I'm struggling there. I was expecting more City last night, so wait to see what Man United do. I'm not sure about them. They're still short, in my opinion. So there's one spot up for grabs there. I'm not sure who it is. So
I think
Spurs let us down as well yesterday as well. I think so.
I don't think you're going to be as controversial as Stewie by picking Wolves and Sheffield United to go from just outside the European places to getting relegated.
Hey, hang on a minute now. Hang on a sec. We'll talk about this at the end of the season, all right? We'll see where we are, all right? Nobody said Leicester was going to win the league.
No, Fulham will definitely go down.
I don't see the link there, but
After one game, it's pretty obvious they're going to struggle. They haven't strengthened. Who else? How do you know? Like, Jesus, top Brighton were poor last night. I think they're going to struggle. And then it's 1 from another 6, isn't it? So you need to go on a run.
Okay. Aside from the Premier League, Vinny, not to kind of dig up anything awkward here, but how do you reckon your old club, Dundalk, are going to get on in Andorra this week? I mean, it's obviously crucial for the club to try and progress and get into Europa League football. How do you think they'll get on Thursday?
I think to be fair, the Andorra side, the fact it's away is difficult. Very few Irish teams historically have won European games away from home. People look at Andorra. Remember last year when they looked at us playing in Riga, but the Andorrans are definitely a side that they can beat. That one is a favourable draw. But then the following week, if they do win, they're away to Moldovan champions. And again, people on the outside look at that and go, Moldova, Sheriff are a decent side, a lot of money behind them. So, but they're not as strong as they were a couple of years ago. So the two winnable ties, I think we may end up with a chance of a playoff game, Dundalk. So with a bit of luck going their way in them two games. But being away from home, if they handed Andorra home and away, I would say they'd be red hot favourites. Difficult being away from home.
When it comes to Shamrock Rovers, Vinny, I mean, Milan obviously is a very difficult game to try and overcome. It would have been fantastic for them if pandemic restrictions weren't here. That game probably would have been at the Aviva. It would have been a huge windfall for the club. As it turns out, it's going to be an empty Tala on Thursday night. But how do you reckon Rovers are going to get on, given that they've been going so well in the league over the last while? Can they push Milan on Thursday?
Again, it's the same thing. Empty stadiums at the moment is huge. It's really turning games. Also, I've had a little bit of luck in Milan just in terms of pre-season. And the one thing that would scare, Stu will know this, he's played a lot of European games, is the one thing that scares you is real pace. They don't look like they've got real pace. So Rovers, to be fair to them, over the last couple of years, aren't afraid of keeping the ball. So that'll give them a chance. The one concern I would have is Rovers' shape against them. They can get hurt down the sides if they're not careful. Rovers tend to play with that sort of three box midfield. But listen, they're flying in the league. They're full of confidence, and anything can happen. Obviously, AC Milan are red hot favourites. So just hope for the league that thereabouts come late in the game, and people in leagues, people that support the league, have something to shout about, because if they're well beaten, we'll hear from a lot of people in the social media world, and so I hope that they're thereabouts. But it's a difficult tie for them. I'd say they preferred a game that they can win as opposed to the glamour of AC Milan. So particularly with an empty stadium.
Vinny, just on that, Vinny, we saw Liam Scales coming in there for that recent Bows victory that they got. He was over at Man City doing trials last year, and there was talk maybe going to doing that move to Bristol before that fell through. But watching the last few weeks, he definitely looks like a player who could be playing at that level in the UK as well.
Yeah, I know Bristol Rovers are interested in him. Fleetwood Town, I think between the two of them, it looks like the deal fell through last year. He was on trial, but this is a level up, and it's obviously a couple of levels up. So we'll be tested then. There's no doubt we need to see our players tested at that highest level, and then we can find out what they're all about. But he's had a great month, there's no doubt about it. But the flip side of it just shows you how fickle it is. He could have gave away 2 penalties in the Bows game. Now, people will argue whether they were or they weren't, but there was a pull on the jersey, and his body shape was very square, and for the second incident. So it'd be interesting. I presume he's going to play because of his form of late. He gives more legs than, say, someone like Joey O'Brien, and you'll need that sort of high energy. So, and the three at the back has suited him. But it'd be interesting to see. Milan might play 2 up top against him, so it's definitely a bigger challenge. But if he comes through that challenge, there's no doubt people in the UK are looking at our players now, left, right and centre, from League of Ireland players. I see it with Dundalk, with the amount of players out of contract. Their age doesn't matter. It used to be, if you sort of were 23, 24, you've missed a boat. That's not the case anymore. There's real interest in players right up till 28, 29, because they're free agents now. And there's not that much money in the English game.
Stewie, how do you reckon Shamrock Rovers get on against Milan then?
I think they've got a chance. I think it's important that they go in with a game plan, and discipline is huge for them, which I think goes in their favour, because they've been very disciplined this year, as opposed to other years. They've had they've sort of, especially in big games and a lot of the Bows games, they had players needlessly sent off and things like that. So the one-off game, the no crowd, I think they've gathered momentum in Europe in the last couple of years, put in some very good performances. So I think they understand how to play at that level. So I'd give them a chance. It just really depends on whether they can take opportunities once they come along. Goals in recent times they've been until the Cork game, you know, and Cork were pretty poor last week. They had been sort of struggling to really kind of carve people open. But if they can take those opportunities, then they have a chance.
Like anything in these games, Stewie, set pieces is huge, and I think Rovers are strong from set pieces, particularly with 3 centre halves,
especially with the delivery as well. Actually, yeah. No, it's a good point. Yeah, I think we're seeing that now that set pieces are becoming a big part of this one-off game thing. Like, you know, and I mean, AC Milan is probably. I mean, I don't. It depends on how it affects them. This, you know, Irish sides have you know, down the years have won big games like this and nearly almost put, you know, big clubs into real financial difficulty, you know, so there's big pressure on them to get through this. But I think it's important that they put, you know, their best foot forward. Everyone's going to be watching the game as well, like, you know, so it's a nice game to have, to be quite honest, considering the year that we've had with football, especially football in Ireland. So it's one to look forward to really more than anything.
Okay, fingers crossed for both teams this coming week. Team OTB Sports, I haven't forgot about your predictions. They can be read in more detail on the OTB Sports website. But Stephen Doyle, give me your Premier League winner, top 4 and bottom 3.
Yeah, I think Liverpool are going to do it. I think we're going to have a new runner-up this year. I actually think Manchester United have bought really well. I know they've got issues at the back, but I think they'll have enough quality there to get into second place. I don't think. I think City, and then I think it'll be between City and Arsenal then for third and fourth. I don't think this Chelsea experiment is going to work. Saw them last night, and what concerned me about Chelsea last night was even the fact that they were leading 3-1. There was a siege on their box for the last 10-20 minutes, and you know, all the great teams should be able to dominate a side like Brighton in a game like that. So I just think this Frank Lampard's going to have issues trying to gel that team together. So many new signings coming in at the same time. So I'm going to go for Liverpool, United, and then either City or Arsenal third or fourth. And then going down, I had Fulham, Villa and Crystal Palace, but after seeing West Brom on Sunday, I think they're in trouble as well. I'm going to go for Fulham, West Brom and one, I think Villa will go down with them as well.
Okay, Nathan, my suggestion to you, based on social media over the last 4 or 5 days, is not to mention Leeds going down here, but who are you going to pick?
I didn't say Leeds will go down.
That's the perception Leeds fans took, though.
Well, I just said that maybe it wasn't the greatest championship of all time last season, and that, you know, people are talking them finishing where Sheffield United did last season, you know, kicking on, pushing for Europa League spot. I just don't see that. Listen, they were brilliant at times against Liverpool, but Liverpool were the perfect opponents for them in terms of the way they play. I'll stick with the bottom 3 I went with before the start of the season, so a full week ago, of Villa, same as Steve, Villa, West Brom and Fulham. Obviously we haven't seen Villa yet, but West Brom and Fulham didn't show a huge amount. And then I'll stick with Liverpool for the title. I think the rest of the top 4 will be City, United, and just not convinced by Chelsea either. Not convinced by Havertz and Werner. That, listen, they've come with big prices. Okay, they've done it in the Bundesliga, and I'm not going to disparage the Bundesliga. I saw a lot of both of them at times in the Champions League and the Europa League over the couple of seasons, and there were a lot of games where they were ineffectual. And if they don't deliver, like, he's upset the younger lads who came in last season and been pushed out of the side. So I think Arsenal might squeeze in to the top 4, just ahead of Chelsea.
Okay, John Duggan, as the winning team, well, half of our winning team here, give us the winning team for the Premier League, the top 4 and the bottom 3.
I don't think I should really say anything else, to be honest, after that, because it's all going to go downhill. I'd be of the view that I think Liverpool will win the title again. I think City, United will be in the top 4. And I would kind of agree with the lads. I do think Arsenal, I really like Arteta. I really like what he's doing there at Arsenal. Unfortunately, it very pains me a lot to say it, but I think they'll be there or thereabouts. But I originally went for Chelsea in the top 4, so I'm just going to stick with what I originally went for. But I'm going to change my bottom 3. I think Fulham, I didn't have them in the bottom 3. They're going down with West Brom. And I had Palace to go down. Now, I know they won the other day, but I still think Palace don't score enough goals. I don't know whether Batshuayi will make any difference to that. But I think Roy Hodgson and Palace still, the way they finished the season, they were tanking. And I think with Villa with Grealish staying, with say Watkins joining, maybe Palace, Fulham and West Brom might go down. But Jose's not bad for the sack race, lads. I think he was 33-1 or something last week, and the way it started, you know, he could be gone before. It's not been a good start.
I think I'll still take David Moyes. They've got a lot of difficult fixtures coming up, West Ham. Kenny, before I let you go, thanks a million to the lads for joining us for the quiz.